the show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The Two Counts, great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet me, Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the Two Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the Two Counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The Two Counts.
The Two Count. The Two Count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Yeah, hello everybody. Let me turn this off. Good afternoon, good evening, Ace. How are you?
What's up?
Hey, I'm good.
Dude, I'll let you go.
No, this is Mark Clampy talking on the phone with me from Goonies Comedy Club.
What's up, Mark?
He says, "What's up?" You can't hear him, but because I have earplugs in. Yeah. So no, I was going to say the comic that we were talking about, I worked with in Shakopee, Minnesota, and I know he works all over the place, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of demand he has, but you know, I found him to be very good. Not what I would say, oh my God, a must see, but definitely very, very good.
That's kind of my impression that I had, but I was just curious because I'm still waiting to see him.
I understand. Yeah. You know, well, at some point when you keep, you know, bailing for a better gig, you know, maybe you'll never see him.
Yeah, no, he'll be open, you know, Memorial Day weekend.
Of course. Ooh, Sea Monster. Yeah, and there you go, Ace. Luke is wondering about your chest.
It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good substitution.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Brian. I just was curious about Mark. Like, it'd be nice to meet the guy.
All right, guys, I'm gonna mute JR because I don't think we all need to hear his business talk over here on the fucking show. But yeah, Luke, it's doing all right. I'm just sending a tweet out or Instagram out that we're live. As always, feel free to share our link. Let people know we're on. Tommy will be here soon. He's running late, everybody. And Nur-d will be coming through as well to talk the Royal Rumble tonight. Also running a little behind. He let us know. So
all right, I'm done.
Soon. There we go.
I'm done.
I didn't know if you were gonna start dogging some poor comedian on our show.
No, we're not gonna dog. We're not gonna dog anybody. It's just this kind of stuff happens from time to time, and I'm sure that it happens. You know, Luke can probably let us know a little bit too. It's like sometimes you have somebody and you're like, "Hey, we got them booked. Things are and then something comes up and they can't do it. I mean, it happens. You know." Sometimes and it goes to sometimes people bail because they have a they have a better a better offer, which is usually kind of a faux pas. Anxiety sometimes that might be too, but definitely Mercedes Monets, and but it just happens, and sometimes you have to get, and he's apparently done it multiple times. So, but whatever. Food. Sometimes it's for food. It's never. I'll tell you this though, the Freak. It's never for food. Never for food. Typically, the only reason that I would bail on a show is I find out that I'm booked with somebody I have issue with. And sometimes those issues might be how they treat other people. Typically that's it. But in general, I don't like to bail out on shows if I've told somebody I'm going to do it. Simply because it's like you get a reputation for that, and then it's like, yeah, you're not going to get booked, like we were talking. Speaking of, if you are in the, well, yeah, I mean that, but it's not even that, Dan. It's just good business practice where it was like, for example, if I'm putting on a show, or if you're putting on a show, Dan, and I say, hey, I'll be at your show. Thank you very much for considering me. I'm looking forward to it. And then I bail in like 2 weeks. I can't make it. Right. And then I do it again. And, you're like, I really want to work with you. And I'm like, I really want to work with you too. And you book me and I bail again. At some point, you're just going to go, yeah, okay, I'm done. I mean, you're in the word that comes to mind is you're not trustworthy. I can't trust that if I book you, you're going to come. So, excuse me. But anyway, for those of you who have nothing to do on Valentine's Day, if you'd like to come and see me.
That was the longest ramp up to a fucking plug for a show I have ever heard.
It was, but it's not a ramp up. And you know that. You know this. You know me so long. You know this is not I was just speaking and it just sort of steered into it. It wasn't like I was planning on it all along. You think I had Mark Clampy call me with this question so I could talk about my show?
Exactly.
Yeah, I did. I'll be at the Best Western in hey Zach.
What's up,
Best
Zach?
Western in Eau Claire, Wisconsin on the 11th of February with Luke Borkhardt.
That's Super Bowl Eve.
Huh?
You said February 11th?
Yeah.
It's Super Bowl Eve.
Oh yeah, that's right. Super Bowl. But it's also by many people going to be their Valentine's weekend.
No.
I know
Super Bowl weekend. I think everyone votes on that.
Everybody does that, but I'm also saying that it is also. I didn't say it's separate. I said it's also.
There's nothing better for date night than John Russell.
That's comedy. Right. That's right.
Guys, you want to get laid that night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of people do. I also
Impact Pro Wrestling also has a show down in
That's right.
Knoxville, Iowa, I believe.
Knoxarinos.
February 11th.
That's their Valentine's show.
Sure. I don't know if it is or not.
Bring a date and win some blood.
Yeah, it's the day before the Super Bowl, so
two cage matches in that. Not
making the trip for that show, but there's some pretty good matches on that card.
Oh, in Eau Claire, I'll be at the Best Western Hotel in Eau Claire. It's a very nice spot. I've worked there, gosh, I don't know, several years ago, and Luke runs a little comedy production company called Laughing Dogs Comedy. And
I keep thinking you're saying Luke Raven.
No, Luke Borkhardt.
Yeah,
but not Luke Raven. I mean, Luke Raven could also run a comedy production company if he wanted to, but I think he's a bit busy with a wrestling promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't you? I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you work for the guy.
Yeah, it was nice to see Luke and Mike and everybody else. We had a good crowd with us on Saturday.
It was
definitely trial and error, everybody, just so you know. Definitely trial and error, because we've not done anything like that before.
I just want to say, for all of you who were patient with us while we moved at the very last minute.
I think it was 1:45. Like, we got the TV in the meeting room, which was like a freaking 80-some inch TV screen. That thing finally started working with the sound correctly right when the opening package came on with the WWE logo. than now and forever or whatever,
and
or whatever it is now. But that's like how close it was, because we could not get any of our streaming devices for the life of us to work in the TV in the actual fucking room we had.
Yeah,
it just would shut itself off every time it tried to switch to that HDMI. So, again, trial by error, but we pulled it off. It was all right. I think we know now. I think we know now that, like I told you guys, it's like, well, either we'll do this like at one of our places if you guys want to host it, or an Airbnb may be the better call next time.
Yeah,
where we just have the house.
Well, the thing is that we ended up moving from the room to the conference room, which is, but we did it at like 6:30.
Yeah, we did our Rumble pool. I mean, we drew the last number like right as they were announcing the rules to the opening men's Rumble match. Like, it was close. Again, though, this is something we have not done before. Now we kind of know what we're working with. So next time we can plan ahead. The pool was also last minute. Next time we would plan ahead and actually build that out into a better system. Worked out, but no, it was fun, and a very big thank you to everyone who watched it and everybody who came that hung out with us. Again, we had Luke and Malice from Madhouse. We had Wayne and Mike were hanging out with us. We had John Manning and his wife, of course, the three of us, and the Element Hotel. Those people were very, very nice to us. When they could have just been like, who are these bunch of fucking nerds trying to watch wrestling in our meeting room?
Yeah. By the way, I do want to mention
a little insight on that, by the way. So,
I was going to say, by the way, Wayne Burfine, who was there with us, who is also a comedian, he'll be down at Goonies in Rochester this weekend, featuring for Mike Marvell. So if you want to catch Wayne's act, hop on down to Rochester.
Well, fuck. That means
fuck yeah.
You kind of do.
So big shout out to Element, by the way. Sorry I'm late, fellas, but I'll say this: big shout out to Element as far as their manager James. I think she's the night manager. Either way, very cool to deal with. She understands how it is trying to do these pay-per-views. She watched a lot of the UFC. She's watched a few WWE, AEW. I guess WWE, there is the premium live events. So yeah, she understood our plight. She also understood that the room that we got was not exactly up to specs with what was on the photo that we were seeing. Otherwise, we probably would have gotten a slightly larger room. But all in all,
worked out.
Not a bad first run. We know where we can make some adjustments. But
I'll tell you what, first thing we adjusted is that pizza, because it was delicious. But that gave me one hell of a day the next day, bro.
Well, and yeah, so that was also right across the parking lot. So I had so many weird looks because I'm running over there in a t-shirt. It's negative fucking 5 degrees out with a wind chill of like negative 20.
So good.
And I'm running.
Hey, y'all heard what he just said. Keep in mind, I spent like the first 6 hours of the day outside in that shit before I made the hotel to make out with these guys.
Ace was a goddamn trooper that day because he did Hockey Day Minnesota to his detriment, probably, and you didn't even get paid for it, which is a whole nother conversation. But
I donate my time for the children's.
You shouldn't. Anyhow, no, it was all in all, it was still a good event. I set up all of this stuff back yesterday, so if my camera looks off from previous weeks, we will readjust. I set this up last night without even going a dry run. I literally got home, said, fuck it, let's throw it all together. And I got home obviously clearly late today. So
and Tom,
here's where we're at.
I'll tell you, your setup really looks fine. It looks just like normal. The only way it would look better is if the camera was actually off.
Oh well, we can go ahead and fix that, you jackass.
Excellent, perfect. This is the best the show's ever
better.
Tom,
love it. I hate both of you because I'm still going to be the heel after this shit, and you guys were the ones who fucking perpetrated this.
Look, and I love how the little thing pulses when he speaks.
Pulses when I fucking say words. Fuck you, JR.
All right, come on back.
No. You apparently don't want to see my ugly ginger ass fucking face.
Come on. For God's sakes.
I got
Malice,
feelings too,
thank
you
you so
fuckers.
much for coming up
nice.
and hanging out with us on Saturday. That was fantastic to see you. And holy cow, that's a pretty good drive for you from down in the
and they also got piss pounded with snow that day.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Like he had to drive up through some shitty shit to get to us.
Also, let's give credit where credit is due. If you guys haven't checked out our social medias yet from Saturday, you need to go check out the chop that Ace took.
Yeah.
Like a fucking champ, by the way.
Well, I think if we're going to give credit where credit is due, credit to our chat room for getting on the hype train to make that happen.
Yeah. That's true. Dan contributed like 6,500 bits or whatever for that. So,
Dan, you wanted to see it. We gave it to you, buddy.
It's true. That's exactly it. So
only stung a little bit in the morning.
Only in the morning?
Yeah, it went numb after he hit it. So I mean,
well, that's good. That's good to know.
It was. I'll tell you what, Malice has got a heavy hand. I'm not gonna lie. That big.
I reckon he does.
Big old paw can get a good swing on you. So. I like watching Luke immediately fall behind the camera as it happens, and what people don't see is you on the ground rolling after it happened.
Dude, I'm so glad I fucking hit stop as soon as I did, because I was rolling like a goddamn hyena on the fucking floor, dude. It was hilarious to me.
It was embarrassing.
It was fun. These are the things that happen at the watch-alongs, everybody. If you liked it, let us know, because we're only 60-something days on the road to Mania. Maybe we'll do something for Mania.
Well, because we got to worry about 2 nights of this shit, so it might be one where we try and figure out who
might
can
be
do
a
what.
one night only.
Yeah.
We all just equally get our own night off for the Mania. Dan says, yeah, he's in. And honestly, I think we'll be able to kind of get the cameras a little more fine-tuned. And, it was hard because it was stressful for the three of us when things weren't happening how we wanted it to happen at first, too. So there was a bit of a sigh of relief once we got going to where, let's be honest, we started to kind of just enjoy the night and kind of at times maybe forgot that we should have been holding a microphone and talking. I tried. I think the last 2 hours I was really good about, like, the mic didn't leave my hand because I wanted the chat room to hear us. But yeah, I'm excited. Like I said,
there was definitely some chats though here and there that I'm glad people maybe not caught as much of.
Yeah, there was a couple chats that I definitely turned the microphones off, but it was a good night all in all. And like I said, maybe we'll do one for the Mania, maybe the first night or something, or like I said, we have some options. I think definitely Airbnb over hotel, unless we go a different way. But then we can do our own thing. Then we could just go buy some fucking pizzas and bake them ourselves too, bro. That shit had to be.
Hey, Jesse Tyler's been subscribing for 15 months. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Jess.
15 months straight. He's saying already 2 years. Yeah, so 2 years of probably whatever it was before I was on. I don't know what that was.
Damn, the Masked Comedian X cast.
Yeah,
with the Masked Comedian X himself. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's still picking up cans, trying to make a living.
I actually heard he died of a cocaine overdose, but whatever.
I heard
speaking of cocaine overdoses. What now?
I said I heard he turned into a gay fish like Kanye.
I don't think that's okay. Speaking of cocaine overdoses, who besides me wants to see that goddamn movie Cocaine Bear?
Oh yeah. Movie about a wild bear who's addicted to cocaine. Fuck yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that.
It's been trending on Twitter for like 2 weeks straight. It's fucking ridiculous.
I've known about it for over a year, and I'm still excited. Cocaine Bear, hells yes. That's it, Jesse. Cocaine Bear, nothing better.
I also want to state, if anybody is interested in a hype train, we can use this for the next watch along. So Jesse threw in a subscription. If anybody else wants to donate bits or subs to this, go ahead and do it. And if you get up to level 2, I'll take chops at the next fucking watch along. How about that? We're trying to be proactive on this one, guys, because it didn't happen, and Ace was a little bit bitter that you guys didn't want to see good old top shelf Tom Tristan over here get fucking chops. So
no, I already signed you up for who's giving your chop.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm just trying to get a hype train tonight, dude. Like,
well, everybody
roll.
Because like I had like 4 or 5 different people after mine say, you know who you need to get chopped by, and I was like, perfect, because Tom's next in line. So we're gonna have Daddy Decent chop you.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already know that. Daddy Decent probably owes me a chop. Jimmy Wild said he wants to chop me, and again, we have matches that have been claimed with Death Dealer, Cole Cannon, Saucy Boy, Josh Morris have all said that they need to fucking have a match with me. So
Potato Daddy's gonna chop you?
I don't know.
Well, he said a match, but I'll take a chop from Potato Daddy.
I don't know if I'm happy that Dan blew his wad on Saturday.
He did because he's going to the Jericho Cruise too. So
hell yeah,
Dan, you're a rock star. I'm just throwing it out there as if anybody else wants to contribute and stuff like that. It'd be cool to get another hype train. We don't expect it because you guys have been fucking awesome on that watch along from Saturday.
Here's the deal, guys. If you could at least do this for us when you watch, we don't ask. You can tell. We don't ask during our shows, our regular Tuesday night show. We never really ever ask the chat room to do anything other than hang out and talk with us. But a simple subscription would help because you know what, guys? That money we'll put back into things like the watch along because obviously someone had to pay for all that stuff on Saturday, and it wasn't our guests who were kind enough to come be part of that with us. So you know it helps us out to maybe do some more cool things like these watch alongs. So just know where any of that money you guys send us is going. But
and the other thing too is that the three of us at some point we should do a show somewhere, a comedy show somewhere. Aside from talking about wrestling, we should do that and then do a bit of a comedy show. We could do that. Ace would be a perfect host. He still remembers his jokes from back in the day. Yeah, Tom is a
my
feature.
16-year-old jokes.
Yeah, but they're still funny. Tom is a feature all over the country, and certainly relevant. And I'd be happy to do 10 minutes.
We'll definitely make something happen. I'm excited for it. There's a lot of potential for things that we can do in the future. It's been a wild year for us. We didn't really talk about this at the end of the year. And we're also, guys, I said this before, we're filling time right now. Nur-d is coming. He let us know he's going to be a little late tonight, though. He kind of forgot he had a previous engagement. He is going to come, though. He said it just could be a little late. So once he's on, we're jumping right into the Rumble talk, guys. But till he's on, we're going
hold on. Curtis Versus just subscribed as well, so we are literally one subscription or 100 bits away from another hype train. So even if you guys get us to a hype train, I will take chops to the next watch along. Clearly,
I'm gonna write it down right now. No, I won't because I don't have a pen, but we'll mark it. Tom has one chop coming if we get this hype train.
Absolutely, man.
1 minute on that. Yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, we're gonna fill some time though. Just hang out.
Dan Blue is low, but he fucking still threw on some subscription. We're in the hype train, guys.
Dang. Oh my god!
Oh, it's close. No, I'm sorry, it's close. Oh shit! Apparently Jesse's fell off there. Fucking A, last minute there.
Fuck.
But Dan subscribed for Toxic Haze Dog, Luke Raven, Laura, and Doc, or even Bryce Jordan got one here, and then. I believe this last one here is from Ben Profo, Pafaf, or whatever, who won the Women's Royal Rumble pool right there.
Congrats to you on that. And big thank you to everybody. Man. Danny, you're the man, bro. Dan, and have a blast on the cruise, dude. I'm so jealous that you're going. I do want to go again. Have a blast.
Yeah, Jesse gets a guest spot because we've been on his podcast, and he's a funny guy, and we know that.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
I don't really like Jesse though, so we're okay without him.
You guys can fight it out. I don't give a shit.
But I'm up. So yeah, sorry, Dan. That was very generous of you. I wish it would have hit in time.
I think we count it.
We're close. Well, we can't count it because there's rules for the flicking thing that Twitch has, and we set them up as easy as we can. But we got to have 3 individuals.
This also shows how much you guys love to see me in pain because.
Hey, it didn't.
Because Curtis Versus is now begging for it.
What's that say for me? Because Mine happened pretty quickly on Saturday.
Well, that's also because Dan was feeling real generous. And again, Dan, you were more than generous. And I hate to say this because, you and I don't necessarily see eye to eye all the time, but you're a good dude. And I'll give you your props when I can. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for all the bits you gave on Saturday. That's huge. Curtis versus with some MJF fucking gifts over here and some emojis and stuff. Good for Curtis 70 angry. So
MJF. Is he losing steam to his shit lately? What do y'all think?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't watch Dynamite live this week. I actually
for crap's sake.
You all right, JR?
No.
JR, did you just comment in the chat saying chop Tom's nipple off?
Yeah. There's my
oh, look at this. He donated to the cause himself. What a petty motherfucker.
There's the hype train.
This is payback for you ganging up on him with the Golden God there, apparently. So, yeah, there you go. You got it. Watch along whenever we do one next. Tommy,
all right, so
taking a
I'll say this real quick.
Guys, also, that's bearing that we have a pro wrestler with us. No random, we're not going to chop him. It's got to be a wrestler that chops him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a wrestler chop.
It has to be somebody that knows how to give a good chop. Although my son, who you I think met, Tom, would love to chop anybody.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If you bring him to the next watch along party and we can get a wrestler, I will take 2 chops if we get to level 4, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not because even though everybody's been so very generous, we're at 83% of level 2, which makes me think that the numbers from Saturday were wrong because somehow we stopped at 0% of level 2, even after all of Dan's bits and stuff. So I think there's a little bit something wrong with Twitch right now. But yeah, you guys have been fantastic. So keep up the support. We always appreciate it. You guys know that we love to have you out here and stuff too.
Oh, that's because of all of the gift subs, huh?
Yeah. Subs are a little bit more than bits, but again, Dan gave so much on Saturday. I can't believe that we only stopped at 0% of level 2. That doesn't make any sense now.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. So here's while we're keeping this show going.
John pushed it over to the edge to fucking level 3.
JR really wants to see you take 2 chops.
I'll take 2 chops.
You keep pushing them, and you keep pushing them. You keep poking the bear, Tommy, and now he's coming back.
I want to let everybody know, by the way, when JR gives money or if I've given him subs or if Ace gives anything, that's all just going right back to us. And this is really petty of you, JR. This is very fucking petty of you to give 400 fucking bits.
I don't want people to. I want these guys to know that I'm part of the movement.
It's the rules. We got.
Yeah, right. So again, I'll take 2 chops when we get into level 4. Even if that's 1% of level 4, I will take, or 0% of level 4. I will take some fucking chops from not only JR's son, but I'll take it from a pro wrestler the next watch along.
There's 100.
And since you all are hearing me say this now and watching this with us, you can all hold me accountable. I'm not going to back out unless somehow I line up a gig that's not with a watch along, which I don't think we'll be doing anyways. But I'm trying to keep all the major pay-per-views or premium live events open as possible. I literally had an opportunity to take one for April 1st, but I figured
don't get it twisted, guys. We ain't doing all the pay-per-views and shit together now. Like that ain't happening. No. That cost them. That was some money we all put out to make that happen. So special ones, guys. Mania.
Yeah.
Maybe all.
We're talking top 4 from WWE, maybe
2 for sure.
Maybe because SummerSlam is hard to do. Because it's one of the last good weekends of the fucking summer up here in Minnesota and Iowa, and all our friends are generally out trying to get the last bit of summer they can. So
I would say we skip SummerSlam to do all out watch along, but now we're kind of getting off track planning this.
We're talking about things that need not be talked about.
Yes, one thing at a time. We got 62 days till the Mania. What's this? Got my meet and greet with Jericho Sunday night for 4. Oh, Danny got the Jericho VIP treatment this time. He's coming home with one of them cruising belts.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome to see.
Dan, make sure you send us a picture of those belts because I want to make sure we get it up on air to see how cool those look. Because I've heard a lot of good things. I've only seen a little bit of a preview. I haven't seen a lot, but
I saw the second cruise is the first cruise they did that title belt thing where you could pay like Dan, how much was it? Do you know? Do you mind saying? I think it was a few grand. Dude, on that second cruise, they looked tight. So we saw a few people.
Yeah, no, they've looked very, very cool. This is the 4-leaf clover belt. I want to see what that looks like. I think they could do a lot of cool things with that.
We're idiots. We should have sent Dan a box of 2-count magnets to hand out on the boat.
Oh, we are idiots.
Or patches or whatever. Yeah, shit.
Well,
you know what? Next time.
The magnets would have been great because they always put magnets on cruise doors, dude. Like people will decorate their doors with magnets and shit on cruise ships.
That's true.
You could have literally just put them out on the door.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Jesus, Dan, you are incredible,
Dan.
man. I mean,
all right,
Dan.
Say, Danny, we love you,
Danny,
brother.
you know what, Dan? I think at this point, we almost owe you a belt of our own at this point with how much you're fucking spending right now.
There's our first 2-count champ right there.
Yeah, you know what? He might have just bought his way into being the first ever 2-count champ. That's for sure.
Is it because I cooked a chop on Saturday? You're still in a great mood off of that. It's like all gone. I don't even think you can see. Maybe a little, like right there.
Well, that just got us fucking canceled off of Twitch right there.
Ah,
Jesus, put your titty away.
That fat guy boob.
That doesn't
that fat guy boob. It doesn't do nothing. And that don't do nothing.
Oh,
Chris
come on.
Farley
if I can't have a little bit of fun, give you a
Chris Farley made a
come
living out of that. What are you talking about?
I don't disagree with that, but you don't see Chris Farley out here on Twitch now, do you? Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, you also don't see me doing fucking crack and drinking like a crazy man either. So,
hey, listen, I'm not telling them what I saw on Saturday, okay?
Honestly, I don't think anybody drank the Modelo but me.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of. There wasn't near. I mean, everybody was sociable with their drinking. I don't think anybody really got blasted like we sort of like like it's different when you're at home, right? And when you're at home,
you just shut it off and then you go to bed.
Yeah, you're at home. You're like, I don't give a shit if I vomit on myself here. But you don't want to vomit on yourself at the Element Hotel. That's embarrassing.
Well, also it wasn't like we were all staying there either.
Well, yeah, that's why I said, maybe next time we'll get an Airbnb that has a few rooms and we can all just stay there that night.
13 seconds left. 13 seconds to get the level 4.
Oh my God. Just let it go. Let it go.
Oh,
100.
Dan, what are you doing, Dan?
He got us into level 4. That, again, I think extends the time a little bit. So, guys, help Dan out, man.
I love you, Danny, but
clearly wanted me to get chopped here.
Greatest, buddy.
You got vacation coming, buddy. Tommy's nipples aren't worth this.
Apparently they are. So we got into level 4. So I'll take it from JR's son. 35% of the level 4. Dan, he's doing this almost single-handedly, y'all. And honest to God, like it's impressive, Dan. I appreciate after all the shit that we talk. I genuinely like you as a person, right? Like, so you don't need to give us any more. Please don't give us any more. If anybody else wants to help out, oh man, see, he just earned a badge. That's great. Thank you, Dan, for all the bits and subs, man. Again, I hate to say it, but I genuinely love having you around here. You're a great dude. And I will take these chops with pride, knowing that Dan is still in our chat and still a fan of the show.
You know what's great is
genuinely
we don't even have a street team, but we do. You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't have an official street team for the 2-count, but Dan's been in an official street team for us since day one. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even he came from the cruise, but I never met him on the cruise. He just came because we posted the show in the cruise chat. All our full gear weekend was the first time any of us actually met Dan in person.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, and him and Stacy both.
You didn't meet him on the cruise.
I never met him on the cruise.
Him and Stacy were great.
Yeah, he was just in that group page for the Jericho cruise, and we posted the early shows in there. Or Erica did. Erica shared it in there.
Dan gave 200 more bits. Stop it, Dan. You're fantastic already. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad that's the last that you got.
Left. God dang it, boy! Somebody's going to get to hit Tom in the head with a shovel too.
You know what? At this rate, and I will say this, Dan, don't give any more. But if we somehow get up to level 5, I will take a chair shot. I will bring the chair myself, and I will take a chair shot to the back, not to the head, because I've already had concussion issues before. But I will take it solidly to the back. Dan, don't give any more. Do not give any more.
Industry where he can gimmick a chair.
Oh yeah, there you go. He found us because of Brad Williams.
Oh, that's right.
But I never did actually meet him on the cruise. It was just happenstance that we've been on those cruises.
Tina, I tell you what, Tina, if you throw in some bits, I will take a chair shot at Waterloo this next year. I will make sure I'm down there, and I will take a chair shot in July in Waterloo.
How many level hype train can you go?
5 is the highest.
Okay,
but
so
you can go 100+%.
Hey,
you let you go up to 5. And to be fair, I mean, other people have the hype train super pumped up to where it's like you need XX. Ours are simple because we're a simple folk.
Yeah, we're low level.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we get it up to 5 without Dan, it's on you, the rest of the chat room. Get it up to 5. Not only will Tommy take him a shot with a chair, he'll take a chair shot with Malice's chair, which is the barbed wire. Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely do that.
But that level 5.
Thank you, Tina. There we go.
Haha, yeah, let's go. Let's make it happen. Oh,
let's do it. Tom is almost dead.
I think actually this is the only way we're going to get Malice to actually then join Twitch, by the way, is if he's giving bits over there, because I think he wants to hit me too.
1 minute left, you guys. 1 minute left to put Tom in absolute agony.
I'm going to have to write this all down. Like, what did I promise? I'm going to get a chop from JR's son,
just listen to
a wrestler, a chair shot from Malice's chair. Oh, Curtis versus just get to the sub to Tina. That's fantastic. Thank you for doing that. 70% of level 4. Like I said, get us into level 5, guys, and I'll take a chair shot as well. I'm putting my body on the line.
40 seconds. 40 seconds.
Because I love you guys. We're so close. I can feel it. This feels like Saturday all over again. Like, can you guys get us into level 1 hype train just to take a chop from Mouse? Probably not. I don't know if they can do it, man. You guys got less than 20 seconds right now, so it's gonna be real close. If anything, guys, we always appreciate the support. You guys know that. It's been a fun couple of days, by the way, too. You know, like Saturday was a lot of fun. Tonight's already been a lot of fun. Hype train success. You guys got us into 70% of level 4. That's fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Dan, especially Tina, Curtis versus JR himself, like a fucking asshole trying to get me chopped.
You should always be chopped, Tom.
That was an all-time record for us, by the way. So thank you.
It was? Oh my.
Yes. 70% of level 4 is a new all-time record for us. 7 subs, 3,600 bits. Thank you all so much for the support. It's again going right back into the product you see here. So all that stuff you guys contributed is going right back into getting us the next watch along party, maybe some equipment upgrades, all that sort of stuff. So we don't take a lot of that ourselves. We always try and invest that right back into what you see on air here and what you see with what we do with Absolute, with Madhouse, and any other promotions we are working with. So
yeah, what's great is we have a lot of places that we could do a lot of this stuff at. So guys,
absolutely.
And another really big thing is, if you have friends who are wrestling fans, tell them what's going on Tuesday nights. Let them know. Help us grow. The more people we reach, the more we can do bigger things.
And here's the thing, too, guys.
I want to be on the goddamn Jericho cruise. I want to be booked on the cruise.
I do too, only as a comedian, and I hate both of you. So how about that? You guys can stay home. I'll be the featured comedian.
You won't be.
Shut your mouth, JR. I'm better than you. Mr. Russ Russington, who the fuck is this? What is it with your fucking name tonight? I just realized this now.
You just notice it now?
Who the fuck is Russ Russington?
Russ Russington is the king of all media.
You fucking asshole. What a dick. What an
You're gonna make me
absolute
die.
fucking carny prick. Oh
Say,
my God.
here's what I want to say though. You know, you guys, we love that you're here, and we love to find out about other stuff. I have a friend that used to be one of my coworkers, and she's now on a different program. She lives down in Texas, and she was not only able to go to SmackDown last Friday in Laredo, but she also got to go to the Royal Rumble. And as we all watched, and I'm only going to bring this up because we're going to talk about it with Nur-d, but I want to say there's one reason why we all thought that The Rock might show up, and everybody in that arena thought The Rock might show up as well. And my friend Sarah sent me this picture. I'm trying to figure out how to get the videos uploaded. She was in a pretty good spot, but there's The Rock's mama.
Oh my gosh,
she was there.
Yeah, but Rock's mom's at like every fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's the relative of all, right? I mean, she's the mama of all. She's related to everybody in the bloodline other than Sammy, of course. But I mean, it's just super cool to.
She's somehow related to Sammy too.
She probably is. We're all one big happy family, though, right? But anyway, there's the point. And as we go along here, I'm trying to figure out a way that I can get those videos so that I can pop them up.
Did she text them to you or what?
Yeah, she texted them to me.
Yeah, good luck. Better off getting them emailed to you.
Texting is that's the thing. She texted them to me, but I'm trying to email them to myself, or at least get them in the what you call it.
Don't go crazy for it, because we all know what happens when you start getting on a task like that.
I know. I get confused. I don't know what the hell's going on.
He stops talking for a while, and then it's just Ace and I back and forth, which is fine because I mean we're the only two coherent ones on this show, so it's fine.
Dan, all right, hang on. Just how good at casting of Young Rock is. That's what he's saying. I'll tell you what, yeah. And I don't remember who I was talking to about. I think it was at Rumble, at our watch along. I said it, but like even like Becky Lynch playing Cyndi Lauper in Young Rock, like she fucking crushes it. She crushes it, bro.
Yeah.
Are we keeping you
Sorry
up?
for the yawn, everybody. It's only because Ace was talking. I generally get I start drowning out when he starts talking. It's too much.
Good to know. I don't let you drive on the drives anymore.
It's no shit. It's all the fucking radio voice shit. I can't fucking stand it. Just fall asleep.
Really good too.
That guy who plays Andre is really good. I've only seen a couple episodes, but that dude who plays Andre is very good on that show.
It's a really good show, honestly.
Oh, HCW called me a butthead. I should allow this, though, right? I'm allowing your comment, HCW. Way to show up late to the party here, buddy. You would have got a sub earlier. You could have gifted some subs or some bits. We could have gotten through a hype train to get me actually a chair shot with barbed wire. I only just take a regular chair shot now, so...
Don't worry about it, HCW. Tom was late to the show tonight, too.
I was late to my own show. And you guys want to know why?
No.
Okay, then we won't fucking share it.
Another fake fire at the office?
Ready?
No.
There he is.
Top shelf.
Nur-d.
Top shelf. We are back. Traffic has got nothing on your boy.
That's right. Oh, man, I am so excited to see you tonight, my friend.
Oh, my goodness. Tonight is the night. Hello, what up, 2 Count? How is everybody doing?
We're doing good. You missed it. A bunch of people gave us some money, so Tommy's got about 3 chops coming and a chair shot with some barbed wire on it later.
Oh, my goodness. There we go.
Not tonight, but sometime in the future. Hopefully, you'll be able to join us for that next one.
Oh, I have
with the watch along and all. So
I have
at our Rumble watch along. I had to take a chop from our boy Malice.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes
the chat room wanted it. They got it, dude. You know,
the chat is in control, and we are here for that.
Hell yeah! So we have been putting off Rumble Talk.
Really?
Got here because
my good,
it's too good, man. It's the conversation's
you're the real MVPs. I've been looking forward to this since Sunday or Saturday night. Oh my goodness! All right, so
let's dive right in.
Let's get into this.
Rumble match number 1 kicks the shit. Now, how many of you guys are surprised to see the men's Rumble open the show?
We were shocked.
I was.
Everybody was shocked. Well, okay, real quick. Before we talk about the men's Royal Rumble, can we talk about Pat McAfee?
Yes, please. Please.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I've never seen a commentator so over.
Right?
Like a commentator. Like a
right?
and yeah, he wrestles, he's had matches, but like a commentator is about as over as anybody could be.
Right.
In that position.
And what they say is that was true reaction. Like Cole and
no one
Corey
knew he
had
was coming.
no idea he was coming.
I think that's so great. I am like, we're going to talk about it as a whole, but as soon as his music hit, first of all, great entrance music. We talked about entrance music before, and I was just like, all right, there we go. It hits it the blue and the white. He's coming out. Everyone's doing it. He owned that whole ramp, the entire walk down. The other commentators going crazy. It was like The Rock came back. You know what I mean? Like, it was the weirdest thing. And so Pat McAfee pretty much opening the Royal Rumble, like, is insane to me. And so good for him for coming back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I kind of wouldn't have minded if he would have took him up on the offer to actually be in the Rumble.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. But I think that with the men's Rumble we're about to talk about, I think it worked out exactly how it was supposed to. But boy, and then I was nice to have him for the whole show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? For him to keep saying, granted, some of the stuff he said, you could tell he's been out of practice for a minute.
Oh man, the best though was how many times he kept saying, was it the Bang Brothers or whatever, Bang Bros that he's not supposed to say anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Well, let's get into it. So I'm gonna run through. I'll just start going through entrances. You guys jump in when you hear something you want to talk about, because there's a lot going on.
A lot going on.
So 1 and 2 is Gunther and Sheamus to start it off, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Man, first of all, how lean is Gunther looking now? I just saw a thing online where it was like him breaking into the business to now, and yeah, you are right. It's almost like, where'd you all go?
I was gonna say, I don't, you want to let people enjoy the body that they're in, and I think that's great. And if Gunther is loving himself and looking great, then that's dope. I think he is having a lot of fun doing what he's doing. I do like the bigger Walter figure. I think it kind of sold it more when he was just like a massive hunk of human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he's feeling healthier and he's enjoying himself, then great. Awesome. That's honestly the most thing. But boy, he was looking gaunt.
Yeah.
A little bit.
He was looking gaunt.
Yeah. Well, the cardio has paid off for him because he needed it Saturday night.
Coming in, and also, but how much of a powerhouse he looked. He holds up the IC title. The light, first of all, the staging of the Rumble, I think, with the lights in the background, the vertical lights in the background, really kind of like made really good pictures on the hard cam. Just like him standing there, he looked like a global sort of star, which he should be, and he is, but like.
No, it's a very good point. I mean, thankfully they did something inside to enhance the show instead of the fireworks that they had. Sorry, the fireworks they had on the outside. That was
those CGI fireworks outside.
You're already outside. Just fire them off, man. Like, just have some fun with it, dude.
It can't be perfect. If you have to stumble somewhere,
It's Texas, man. They could have just had a bunch of people outside that stadium shooting their guns out. Like, come on. Like, that was the worst thing.
The CGI fireworks were really tough to watch. I'm not going to pretend like that wasn't true. But, like, Gunther comes in number 1. Sheamus comes in number 2. Great. Obviously, their rivalry has been going, and I think they're going to be the Flair and Steamboat sort of. Anytime people put them in a match together, they're just going to go. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need much of a build up to see them beat each other up,
right? Yeah, and then you have the Miz coming in at number 3.
Then
we had Kofi Kingston.
Oh my God.
Down. Now I have
Poor
to ask,
Kofi.
so like, what was the deal, man? I missed this whole part because again, we had to watch out. So I seen that he got booted out, but I saw the foot was on the chair, but then he was out.
So what it looks like from what I've watched it like a bunch of times. Gunther knocks him off the ring apron, and he's supposed to land in the swivel chair.
Okay.
Now it's the same swivel chair that Pat McAfee was having trouble getting on earlier.
Yeah.
Not that matters, but it is just interesting to point out. Xavier Woods is supposed to hold the chair. Like, he looks like he was supposed to brace the chair, but for whatever reason, either it was too far away or Kofi didn't get a big enough jump. And he hit his head on the corner of the announce desk as he fell. He kept his leg up on the thing, and I'm almost guaranteed they could say that his foot never touched the ground. But because he hit his head pretty bad, and he was leaning on the thing, I think they just said to scrap it, which is kind of a huge bummer. Because that was a huge bummer.
Well, didn't last year
he hit his rib?
They got botched last year.
Yeah, he hit his rib against the ring, the barricade when Kevin Owens pushed him off, and his foot hit the ground.
Man, all right, rough 2 years for Kofi in the Rumble. We then get
getting older.
I think this is what I think this is what they need to do now. And this is just me personally. I remember there was an indie show where AJ Styles botched the phenomenal forearm. And then they turned that into a storyline of AJ being afraid to do the phenomenal forearm because he messed it up. Right. I think they kind of have to turn, if this is going to be something that they can turn into some gold later, they need to, Kofi needs to be built up just in general, but they need to take that story and be like, man, Kofi, you've really been slipping in the Rumble. Like, do you think you can do it this year? And make it an actual storyline of whether or not he'll be able to save himself from being eliminated. Have him come out at 1. Have him save himself a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Just regular ways. You know what I mean? Like, in the regular way.
Let me just also say real quick, I'm partially glad that his save didn't happen because that was a long ass Rumble.
Yeah, it was a bit of a.
We were saying that we're like, man, this is the first match. Like, man, we got a lot of time. We got a lot of time. So unfortunately for Kofi, that's a shame. But we kept going. Kept rocking.
Yeah, you got Johnny Gargano makes his way out next. Then Kofi's partner Xavier Woods comes out. We got Karrion Kross. Chad Gable next, and you have Drew McIntyre. Santos Escobar came in at 10. Number 11, Angelo Dawkins. That's my dude right there.
Ooh, real quick about Johnny Gargano. Did anybody guys watch him take that header? Like,
yeah.
Gable or Santos or somebody gave him a move, and he hit him on his head. And, like, I watched Gargano just jelly leg around the ring for like a million years. And I was just like, it started to get to the point where I was like, I think he might be hurt.
Yeah, that did something. Man, yeah. Brock Lesnar, you got Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins, Otis, number 17, Rey Mysterio, who never came out.
What?
He's injured.
Followed by his son in his mask, Dominic Mysterio.
So here's why Ace is upset is because he drew 17 in the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but
Rey Mysterio.
But I also had 15 in a different pool, so I was in it for a long time till Rollins got out. I was pissed.
True.
Yeah.
Then we got Finn Balor, after Dominic, Elias, Finn Balor, Booker T, a surprise. Damian Priest, like one of the only. Booker T, Damian Priest, Montez Ford, Edge makes his return. Austin Theory, Omos, Braun Strowman, Ricochet, Logan Paul, and Cody Rhodes is the last to enter the Rumble match. Let's just go around. What were some of you guys' favorite moments of this Rumble match? For me, it just stands out, and I think it does for everybody. But the pointless but still amazing to watch springboard off the ropes into just a really hard chest bump in the middle of the ring with Logan Paul and Ricochet, but it looked cool as hell.
Coast to coast roast.
Yeah, Logan. We said this at the time we were watching it. I'll say it again, and I've said it on this show. Logan Paul is amazing. It's frustrating that he's as good as he is at this because he could have just done this the entire time. He didn't have to do all this and other nonsense, but he is a natural. Like, he is a natural. He did the springboard. He did the buckshot lariat just to do it. Like, he is incredibly athletically gifted, and he knows. And it seems like Triple H or whoever was in pulling the strings was like, "Hey, Logan, just go out there and be yourself. Like, don't try to be a good guy." Because when Vince had his hands on him. And good thing he paired him with The Miz, because that was the only thing that kind of saved that bit. But when Vince was like, he's got a lot of followers, we want those kids to like him, and blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah, he's got way more haters.
He's got way more haters. Let him be a dick. And he did. He came out there, I'm back. And as soon as he said that, I was like, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and he eliminated Seth Rollins. That's a big name to get to eliminate right there.
Yeah.
So
it was great.
My assumption would be Logan Paul will be at Mania, and it will be Seth Rollins.
Well,
Why wouldn't it be?
And to touch on that point though, too, from Nur-d, you're right. So even if you realize that maybe kids like Logan Paul, all of their parents hate Logan Paul. So if you're going to have a premium live event, and I mean, even if people are just paying the $10 or whatever for Peacock for the month just to see, this one and probably Rumble or Mania, excuse me, they are going to tune in and be like, oh, that motherfucker who this motherfucker likes. It's like, okay, I hate him because this kid is now trying to act too much like him. And I'm starting to hate him because this kid I'm starting to hate too. It's like, I don't know how it works with kids. I don't have any, but like, I assume that's how it works,
You don't
like
hate
your kid starts emulating somebody else you hate.
What's that? Don't hate your children.
I don't know,
but you do hate their idols.
I don't know if that's true. But
I don't know.
But what I will say is that I think that there's something to that. Like, again, the kids are gonna like him anyway, regardless.
Yep.
They're gonna like him either way. So, like, why not just let him be the character that we, the wrestling fans, would only accept him as, which is as this outsider who showed up, who's better than he should be, and like he knows that, and he knows that we know that, and even if he was bad at this, which he's not, he would still be richer than everyone watching, and therefore, like, isn't that really frustrating to you?
Yeah. Just like, oh yeah,
yep, it sure is.
I am excited to think about the kind of things him and Rollins will come up with to do though at Mania. Like that, I read. I was reading something earlier in the week, and it was basically an argument in this article about Logan Paul had a better rookie year than Hook did in AEW.
100%, I would agree with
that. And it's true, and especially now you look at Hook, and it's like, oh, he lost all that mischief to him. He's just with Jungle Boy now.
He's just a
guy. I will do you one better. I don't want to necessarily see Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. I want to see a three-way where it's Seth Rollins, Ricochet, and Logan Paul, because I think that bumps this up. It's one of the few times I think if you add a person to a match, it's going to make it better, because now you're going to get more high spots. You're going to get a lot more flips. You're going to have a lot more energy to that match, because we're going to see old school Seth Rollins having to keep up with two guys who are going to want to run the ropes, do the flips, make sure everything is spectacular. It's going to bring out a different side of Rollins. I want to see that match. I want to see a three-way, those three. And it doesn't have to be for anything, because it doesn't need to be for anything.
Ricochet's earned it. He's earned
for sure.
A spot where him being in the match is like a part of it. Like, he gets to talk, he gets to do the feud, like the whole thing. I really think that him doing that spot with Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mike. It does protect them both. It protects everybody involved when you add Ricochet, but it elevates Ricochet because I still think you have Logan pin Rollins for the finish, because that's their only finish that really matters, but have Ricochet not lose, which I think again is great. Like Ricochet needs to start looking like a real contender, because with Rey Mysterio out the way and Dominic not quite there yet, I think you need a flyer that's really gonna fly when you need him to. And Ricochet has proven time and time again, unlike Top Dollar, that he can fly whenever it's required of him.
Let's not talk about that suicide dive that did not really. I mean, it almost ended up in his actual suicide, but let's not talk about.
For sure.
But I will say this, and I like how you're phrasing it as far as Logan needs to pin Rollins, because I think what you could do is you could have not a dusty finish, but you would have basically Ricochet hit a move. Logan comes in, knocks him off of Rollins or knocks him out of the ring, and then pins Rollins, and that helps everybody because of the fact no one looked bad.
Yep.
A win is picked up based off of somebody else's move, so that person who even loses the pin looks good. Even the person taking the pin is like, "Oh, you got pinned because you hit that other person hit their move." And smart, it's one of those ones. It's the best booking for everybody. Now we say it here as a quartet, but there's no way anybody at WWE is listening to this like, you know what? Those motherfuckers are right.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I will say.
I wish, dude. I wish.
I will say it's not going to happen for this reason. They're going to bring the Money in the Bank match back to Mania this year.
You think they're bringing it to Mania?
They've done away with the pay-per-view.
They've already announced that they were going to.
Oh, well then Logan wins the Money in the Bank match.
Logan or Ricochet.
It's Logan.
Could be.
They're going to want him to walk around with that case. They're going to want to put it on his podcast. They're going to want him to carry it around with him. Yeah. Like, like when Bad Bunny won the 24/7 title, they're going to tell him, "Hey, take that everywhere with you." And he would, because it's fun for him to do that.
Right.
And then I like the idea of Logan, especially because Logan versus Rhodes, which would be the fight because Rhodes going to lose to Rhodes. Yeah. Would be the only next thing to do. You know what I mean? Because Cody Rhodes has proven himself the wrestling dynasty family guy. And then here comes Logan Paul. I don't give a shit about your wrestling family. I've only just started doing this a day ago. Who are you? Like, and that sentence right there is enough for Cody's first title defense, which is against somebody. If you want to keep him as a babyface, like super babyface, you have to put him against someone like Logan Paul, who could lose and it's not going to really like tarnish him.
Right.
I agree with you 100%, except for one point. I think that point is, I think that Cody is not going to beat Roman Reigns. I think that Cody is going to beat Sammy.
What? No.
Okay, so now we were talking about this before either you guys jumped in when me and JR hopped on earlier today. So JR has a feeling that he's gonna. What was it?
Elimination Chamber is in Sammy's hometown, Montreal. I think he's going to take at least one, if not both, because then Roman doesn't lose to Cody. I think Jay comes in, pulls some shenanigans, because Jay walked. And I mean, this is still the greatest story that's been told in decades, right? And the beautiful part is that there are so many moving parts.
Yes.
And I just kind of feel like Sammy's going to take at least one belt, if not both, off of Roman, so that Roman doesn't have to lose to Cody.
I don't see that happening.
What I think could happen.
Ooh, give us.
Well, because like I told JR, you've got Roman Reigns being a champ for how long now? It's like 800 and some days at this point or something.
Yeah,
like
almost.
That, right?
He's pushing 900.
Okay, so you have him be one of the longest reigning champions ever. Well, why don't you also have him lose in one of the biggest ways ever? And that is he main events Saturday and Sunday night at Mania. He'll lose to Cody. Sammy then can win the next night against him. and he's kind of taking on a weaker Reigns probably.
Oh, okay. So the idea of like he has to defend both belts and not at the same time.
Yeah, so he'll do both nights of Mania.
You know,
Because
that's
like,
not the worst idea. I think that because in my head they're gonna in my head they unify the belts. In my head it's at Mania the whole walking around with two belts thing is gonna end because they're gonna want to sell more toys. And like because everyone's doing it. The tag team titles are gonna get unified. Not the women's championships. I think they're still gonna keep a women's champion on each show. But I think that they're going to unify all the other double champions, which is why I think that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to beat like the Usos for the title at Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm. Now here's another interesting little part of it though. Sami helped win that tag match. Is he considered now part of the tag champions, or how does that work too? I mean, they're just
rules.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts that I love it.
And the big wild card that we got on Saturday night was Jay Uso walking.
Yeah, that threw
that was the one no
whole
one saw
thing.
Coming.
Yeah, like oh snap. So then what are we gonna do? Now I know we're still talking. We haven't got to the rest of the things with the Rumble, but speaking because we're talking about Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in at 30, I kept expecting someone else to come out. In my head, I was like, they're going to have Cody come out at 29 or 28, and then we're going to have returns that we weren't expecting. Otherwise, why would they tell us that he was coming so early? You know what I mean? But I think it was just to get eyes on the product, if I'm honest with you.
No, 100%. Because there's also a report saying he wasn't cleared to actually be in the match till Rumble morning. So
right.
You know, and let's be honest, I'm sure there was a spot for The Rock if he wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well,
and I'm
once you look at some of the names,
I'm still not 100% convinced that that's a done deal, that he's out.
He said he's not in shape for the ring, but that.
Well, what I told these guys last week is there's rumor of The Rock every year at Mania.
Yeah. Because he's got an open invitation,
and he never responds to it. All of a sudden, this year it's I'm not ring ready. Like usually, he just lets people talk,
I think that's because they know that that's one of the only stories that can end Roman's reign. There's a few. There's the three are Sami Zayn, The Rock, or Cody Rhodes. It has to be one of those three. It can't really be anybody else. So it's just like. The Cody Rhodes won the Rumble, so that's the easiest way to do it. It's the safest story to have Cody go to Mania. He beats Roman. It is what it is. But
I will say this. There's an outside shot that there is a fourth one that you might not have thought about, and that's maybe if somebody from deeper in the Samoan bloodline came over from New Japan as like a Tongaloa or a Tama Tonga. I'm not saying that's going to happen because it sounds like it's actually maybe down the road. Jay White might be showing up. I'm just saying like that would be another take, but I don't think that WWE sees New Japan as a bigger sell.
It's too late. They couldn't do that as a surprise because it wouldn't be a bigger sell for the WWE audience. Because
I'm just saying
WWE is way too casual.
They might go past Mania with with Romans with the belts.
You have to take the disillusion of the bloodline. Not as a it's not like the Star Wars, you blow up the Death Star and it's all done. Like it needs to be like Roman loses and then the story continues from there. I think that Tonga coming in would be a foil for maybe someone like Solo. Or, you know what I mean? Because Solo's doing great right now. He's like the muscle. So you're going to have to figure out how to handle him. Jay walks out. Roman puts the belt on Solo and says, "You're tag team champion now. You know, you and Jimmy are tag team champions now. Forget Jay." And Jay helps Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens beat Solo and Jimmy for the tag titles. Runs in, main event Jay, super kicks everybody, helps Sami and KO win, but doesn't like celebrate with them. You know what I mean? He just goes like, "We're even." You know, like we are even, Sami.
You know what's great about this is how long has it been since we've been fired up about a WWE storyline where there are literally multiple options and no one knows which way it's going to go.
And it's going to be good either way.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying, like if it's Sammy, like if Sammy comes out and somehow beats Cody for it, like I mean for the spot, if that makes any sense. Cody now has, if he wanted to, an amazing heel turn in a way that people would never expect. Because now he's fighting Sammy for taking his moment. Like, no, Sammy, like I get it that you needed to like win because Roman was mean to you. But like, this is my family's legacy, and I was supposed to do this at Mania, and then you took it from me. Like, that's a good enough heel turn moment just on its own.
Yeah,
there's a million different ways that can go out. Cody coming in at 30, winning the Rumble. It was exactly what I was telling somebody who doesn't watch wrestling. I said, Cody Rhodes is the new Hulk Hogan. I know that sounds weird, but Cody Rhodes embodies the face that like Hulk Hogan used to be. Like, it's just like he is face. He is the most face that there could possibly be. He's dressed in red, white, and blue, running out there telling kids to eat their vitamins and doing all this stuff. And he's so nice. He's wearing a suit and tie.
Well,
And
it's so funny in the Rumble towards the end with him and Gunther when he starts. We all said it in the room. We're like, oh shit, he's hulking up. I mean, like, that's just it. Like, it is very much.
It's super apparent. Like, the nightmare of his name has, like, we keep calling him the American Nightmare because that's his moniker from his excursion, which he keeps calling it, which is, like, really tough for me to hear. Like, it sounds like he's Shada Pinkett Smith, like, talking about it in anger. Like, it's just like, it's not just an excursion, bro. You created the direct competition out of fight. Like, it's such a weird way to say that. But like, you know what I mean? He comes back. We need to see the nightmare version of the American Nightmare. So he's gonna have to be a bad guy eventually. I mean, so like, what a better way to do that with a homegrown talent like Sami Zayn, who you could kind of like put in that position. But yeah, no, I thought the men's Royal Rumble was fantastic. And shout out to Gunther for like lasting as long.
Dude, that guy, man. And put on the last few minutes with Cody was just a good match too. To go through that whole thing and then actually just perform a one-on-one with Cody at the end was great. I think another big moment we should talk about, bring it up, is Edge making his return back, going after Judgment Day, and then we see Beth Phoenix actually come out there and go after Rhea Ripley. So it'll be fun to watch husband and wife Beth and Edge go against those guys as we get closer to Mania, right? It's so funny. Did you guys see that a fan posted a picture of Edge today? I don't know. It was when they were doing the pose to the camera with him and Beth, and he's just totally squeezing her ass. And someone's like, "Oh, look, this is what you didn't see on cameras," and he retweeted it, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I'm the rated R superstar." So.
I also, this might be a little controversial. It's a hot take. I think that Edge is a lot more like Triple H than people give him credit for. And I think that his retelling of his career as like he's always been this badass is very funny because he is not. Right. He was always a weasel. Yeah. And he was always a weasel. Always. Yeah. His entire thing was he was a fake vampire. Yep. So this whole like I could drop blood on you is super silly. He was like a pose guy.
Yep. 2-second pose.
And then he was a weasel. Then he was just like the ultimate opportunist. He was literally a cheater. Like, so this concept of him kind of revamping himself as like a badass who can take on all three people at once all by himself is really funny to watch as just someone who's watched the product for a long time. Right. It's just I don't know. I'm okay with him being done fighting the Judgment Day. If he's gonna have his last sort of ride off into the sunset, I kind of want it to be like for real. You know what I mean? I want it to be something where he can actually be the Edge that is, not the Edge that like this revisionist history version of Edge. It's fun. It's just different.
Right.
Well, I think if he's going to do it right off in the sunset, he almost needs to go out with a win, though. And I think the only win that makes sense for him right now is if he gets a handicap match, him versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest, because that's the only one that really makes sense in this current era.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he fades away from the Judgment Day stuff, which he probably should, if we're talking about like a year down the line, there's other opponents I would rather see him lose to, really, to actually finish off the career. But if he's going to do it and like this is the end, that would make the most sense, actually picking up a win against those two, because Judgment Day doesn't really need a win because they're not a winner stable, until Rhea wins something, but like
Rhea's
that's about
winning.
it.
She's their person.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
she's the one. You know what would be kind of funny if Edge is like, no, they'd be wasting a year on this, so just they probably won't do it because Edge is kind of he's on his last legs out there. But have him win the Money in the Bank briefcase one more time.
Oh, that's sick.
Like that was what made him famous. He wasn't he the first one to win it?
Ultimate opportunist.
Like he was the first one to win it, if I remember correctly, and he cashed in on
sir.
Cena. So wouldn't it be interesting if he won it, like for the first time? You could have Finn Balor in the match, so we can still have him kind of beat Finn Balor definitively, in that match. And then he grabs the case, and then everyone's like, talking about Cody and Roman and blah, 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 and Seth and all this stuff. And then Edge is like, you do remember who did this, right? Like who made the thing that Rollins did, the thing that all of you people have done with this. That was me. Like I did that. I held this case for a year, like almost a year, a day shy of a year's time. That's me. And I think that would be interesting for his last kind of like, don't forget about me.
Mhm.
I'm still Edge sort of thing. He takes it. And I'd even say I'd have him win. I'd have him cash it in on some fluke shit and like have him win and run out like a weasel and then chase old Weasel Edge around for a little bit and give, you know what I mean? And give someone new, maybe like a Ricochet, a rub over a champion that you don't necessarily have to protect, like Roman and Cody and some of these people that you really can't have lose right away. So you can still have a few more champions coming in before you give it back to someone to reign for another 1,000 years.
Yeah. I like it. Any more thoughts on the men's match before we move along here?
I just like the way that they always kind of play up and feature the stories that we know are going to happen to Mania, i.e. Brock and Bob Lashley. Yep. Theory, of course, continually copying Cena, so we pretty sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's probably
I think. Do you guys think ultimately McIntyre and Sheamus are going to fight again at WrestleMania?
No,
because they're all chummy right now, and I don't think that makes sense for them to fight against each other.
One of them needs a title for that to happen.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because continually when they're together and doing interviews, they're slapping the shit out of each other, and I think at some point it's gonna implode again.
They'll be in the Money in the Bank match.
Maybe that could be a thing that would. There needs to be a spark that's more than just the Rumble. They were really chummy throughout all the Rumble.
Yeah,
there needs to be something that like one of them costs the other one something.
Yeah.
Again, they might be able to fight Jay or Jimmy and Solo. For the titles and win them again. Another of if we're going to split the titles 2 and 2, if we're going to go back to 2 and 2 and split the titles, the Bang Brothers win one set of titles, and then Sammy and KO win the other, or something around
Bang
those
Bros.
Are they going to drive a bus?
They should.
Well, and
they should just lean into it. They should just come to the ring in a freaking van with some hot chick in the back. Just do it. It would be hilarious. Men's Rumble was good.
Oh, you're probably right about Edge's neck, but still.
Yeah, I'll say this one quick thing about the match. There's the reason I'm still shocked that I went first, because one we all wanted to see maybe go last because of what might have happened with the championship match. To see Sami Zayn be in there, which you could clearly take out Otis because Otis is not going to be fighting for anything anytime soon. You don't really need Booker T to be in the Mania, so you could have probably thrown in, like, if you put it on later, you could have had LA Knight take that spot, because again,
well, here's the deal.
As I said before, where the fuck do you take LA Knight now after this? Because if you want to lead into the next match, go ahead, because I don't know where the fuck he goes because he got he lost and then he got taken out by Uncle Howdy. He's
not done. He's not done.
We're gonna talk about the next match because I have a lot to say about this particular match. You go right.
First of all, though, if you're gonna have special guests, let's have some like we used to do it, or just keep it to the roster. Don't have like 1 out of the 30. Yeah, but moving along, it's brought to you by Mountain Dew's Pitch Black.
Wait, what? Mountain Dew?
How many of you ran out immediately after this show to get yourself some Mountain Dew?
I don't know if you guys.
We already had Mountain Dew, but it wasn't Pitch Black.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've bathed completely in Mountain Dew. It's part of my new exfoliating regimen. It's made for pitch black skin, as you can see. It looks so great.
Get the fuck
out! I'm gonna say too that I said this when we were there, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but it's like I loved this match when they called it Cosmic Bowling.
All right, hold on.
I mean, it looked like a rave.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in this party right now. I loved that match. I like it. Big Ace, I like pizza. I loved this match. And it was so silly. But here's the thing though about it. I thought about it if I was 11. If I was 11, you know what I mean? And I know this is I've been feeling about this about the whole pay-per-view. This is like a renaissance of everything that wrestling was when I was a kid. Yeah. You have the super good guy and you have the super bad guys. And then here is the creepy guy. You know what I mean? Like the Undertaker. I wasn't a huge fan of the Undertaker as a kid, but I understood that this guy is the creepy guy. He does creepy guy shit. And so Bray Wyatt coming out in what first looked like just some bondage stuff. Yep. And I was just like, oh, so his new thing is he's just gonna be a sex dungeon guy. Yep. That's cool, I guess. All right. And then when the lights turned into black light and the ring is in this Mountain Dew in the middle of it, but then his makeup and his eyes and stuff, I said, you know what, if I was 11 years old and you told me that this guy is the creepy guy, I would have believed you. Mm-hmm. And so, because if you go back and watch The Undertaker coming out, that man looks foolish. All right. You watch The Undertaker's first debut, he looks foolish. He's just a guy. You know what I mean? And he's evolved into this other thing. So I said...
It brings me back to being a kid watching, I think it was a Royal Rumble too, or Survivor Series. It was Yokozuna Taker casket match. It's the one where they put Taker in it. A bunch of the other guys, all the heel guys, come out and they help Yokozuna, and they're pushing it out. All of a sudden, the green smoke starts coming out of the coffin, and all of a sudden you get the camera and it's on him in the coffin. He's getting all electrocuted and starts talking. It's it was those theatrics. It was okay, yeah. I get it. The glow in the dark, all the little glowing beanbaggy pellets that were everywhere. That, from what I heard, it took them all night to clean that shit.
It was so cool. I don't care what anybody says. I loved it.
I want to thank you for bringing that up, because you reminded me of something that I've said a long time ago, and this is when Ace and I went to, I can't remember what show it was that you and I and your old cohort went to, and I was sitting next to a 11, 12-year-old kid, and we're adults all booing Roman Reigns like he just killed our cat, right? And this kid is down there cheering, and I was reminded at that time, and it struck me at that time, they're not writing this for me. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it reminds me again that they, as much as I love it, are not writing it for me.
Yeah, it's every match has a different audience. I can tell you that a 12-year-old kid watching the Bloodline beating the mess out of Kevin Owens, they're not gonna love it the way I loved it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, this is exactly what needs to happen. Like, and that's just mean. Like, so you know what I mean? There are segments in the show that are for particular people. Every time the Miz comes out, there's a particular demographic for that guy. Every time this person comes out, there's a little demographic for this person. Bray Wyatt, if you're a young kid and you're trying to, and if WWE is trying to reset, which is, I think this whole pay-per-view was them just saying, we're gonna reset what WWE is to something that you guys can recognize. Being like, here is the creepy guy. It makes sense. Taker just passed the torch to him the night before he comes out. And if it's not that every time, I'd be more than happy, because like that seems like a lot on the eyes every time he decides to do that. But like, why not? Like, why not? Maybe he just does blacklight matches all the time now. And that's just like what he does.
Yeah.
And like, okay, because when you're 12, that's cool as shit.
Dope,
like,
man.
you love cosmic bowling when you're 12. You know what I
Yep,
mean? So,
true.
like, good for them. And good for Bray if he's having a good time. But the match itself was kind of lame. But like, he didn't do anything in particular that was like particularly cool.
Well, and
But-
let's be honest, though, the match didn't matter. What mattered was what happened after the match.
Yes.
And that is where we get the scuffle out into the stands. We get Bray setting LA Knight up, and we have Uncle Howdy appear and drop a massive elbow. And then
Missed a
yeah,
massive
he
elbow.
did. He overshot him. He definitely overshot
He
him.
did this, and I felt really bad.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
I wasn't
no,
going to bring that part up, Tom, but
Oh,
yeah,
I
he
was,
totally
for sure.
overshot him. And then, just odd, like the other characters were up on top watching over. Like, it's like that.
I like that. I actually
I'm
really like
with
that
it.
scene.
Like, I'm with it.
I was a few tints in fairness, at that point.
Yeah.
So like I was feeling a little different state of mind than I normally am. But I will say that his music, Bray's music, is great, first off. So when they're playing it, and it's like, die for me, brother, and there's like fire everywhere, and like all the puppets people are kind of like scared of him.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the switching up of the mask, if I'm honest with you. I thought that was a little like, what just happened? What you had on before was cooler than what you have on now. Like, you know what I mean? You should have done it the other way. In my head, I was like, you should have done it the other way, and then ripped off your face and it's all glowing with red eyes and fangs and stuff. But I'm not the guy who does it. But the LA Knight, I wanted to talk about a comment that someone posted, but I want to say what you said about LA Knight. I think he is good enough as a mic that he'd be able to carve out a different lane after this match. It didn't matter who was in that match. It could have been anybody. And I think that, but you needed someone that was you would be unsympathetic towards when Bray ate them. So now he can just go off and like, someone could just like be in the locker room and be like, hey, LA Knight, that was kind of lame. Like a Ricochet. Or be like, oh, hey, ooh, I'm turning the lights off. And then he, hits him, and then you're back off to the races. Like,
I didn't see. Is he in the Elimination Chamber for the U.S. title? Was he one of the participants in that?
Ricochet or LA Knight?
LA Knight, sorry.
He's not, but he should be.
Yeah.
He definitely earned it. And if you put the title on him, mazel tov.
It makes
That's
it better.
Great.
Yeah,
What I
'cause
do,
He earned it.
and I do feel like at this point we're seeing them try to put a little more weight on the U.S. and the IC title. You just had your IC champion go bell to bell and put on an amazing show. And then you just, Theory's doing good things, and I think we're going to see some really good stuff come out of that chamber match that title is going to be up for grabs in.
Yeah, so I say LA Knight. I think LA Knight is good enough that he can make a way for himself after this. You know what I mean? Because, again, no one expected him to win, so it wasn't like he was a letdown. It was just like, whoever is going to be in this match is going to lose. Someone had said something about Finn Balor, if you're writing for kids. Mm-hmm. I think that, again, another reason why you end the Judgment Day is so you can do that. Because Finn has always wanted to do that. But Vince was not going to let him. And so now that he's not at the reins anymore, Finn could be like, I want to face Bray Wyatt. Let's do this again. Like,
well, and they're definitely setting up for a way for Finn to leave by being like, he's the leader, but then having other people be like, no, Rhea's the leader. No, what are you talking about? It's Finn. Like, that's gonna come. It's like, it's like when The Rock joined the Nation of Domination.
Yeah,
you know I mean,
I think they oust Finn like they ousted Edge.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rhea oust Finn like he ousts Edge. Have Damian and Dominic beat up Finn Balor.
Prison Dom, baby.
Toss him out. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need you anymore, Finn. Just like they did with Edge. Yep. So that's great. Awesome. Maybe even have Edge and Finn team up to beat him up once and for all, and then everybody goes their separate ways. And then have Finn come back as like do the demon stuff with Bray, and then they have like a good, and then team them up. And we have a new Brothers of Destruction. I mean, they're going to do it with Bo and Uncle Howdy. But, like, you know what I mean? Just do it. That'd be fun, right? Like, to see Finn and Bray be on the same side. Just, like, Sister Abigail-ing and coup de grace people. And they're all made up. And they're all being creepy. Because, again, 12-year-olds are going to love that. Just like how we loved Undertaker and Kane. Let him do it. Finn needs to break away. He needs one more time.
Mm-hmm.
I say you do that and you make Halloween Havoc more than just an NXT show. I'm serious, man. Because you have Halloween Havoc, to me, that was one of the top 3 WCW shows. And to just have it be an NXT show when you have characters like a Bray Wyatt or a Demon Finn or, I mean, hell, even that, like, and Damian Priest character in ROH was what? Punishment Martinez? Like, come on, dude. Like, that's a badass name. You need to have that dude destroy somebody, man. Like,
and with Alexa and Asuka now both having creepy stuff, you have more character. Again, having more characters with creepy gimmicks or creepy stuff allows you to do stuff like that, like, because then it doesn't seem out of place. Like, you're just like, this is where they would thrive. Like, this is where Dark Asuka or whatever, I forget what the actual name is. Kana, thank you. Like, well, that's where that fits in. So, yeah, I think that that match is great. I think it's great. I wish Mountain Dew wasn't plastered all over.
Yeah.
Because they kept saying it, and it's right in the middle of the ring, and they keep talking about it. And it's like every time they said it, it made it seem more gimmicky every time.
So I asked JR this. Did you guys watch the post press conference?
I did.
When Cody came out and he's like, well, someone's got to actually try this stuff and actually open one up and drink it.
That was very funny. It was very much like his dad, like drinking the whatever. They're like, that's great.
The whole time I'm thinking, because this did go over 4 hours long as far as an actual pay-per-view, not even counting the pre-show. If you had a Mountain Dew pitch black by the end of that match, you probably made it through and then crashed hard from that sugar rush and the caffeine letdown. You probably crashed real hard right as soon as like Sami Zayn got hit by a chair. Spoiler alert, by the way. I don't know why I'm saying that. People watching a fucking wrestling show right now, but like
Mike with a great comment right there. That would be hilarious. Trade Abaddon to WWE for Dana Brooke.
Which one?
Why not? I feel bad. I like Dana Brooke. She's really good, and
she's just like Trish Stratus.
Yeah, it's just,
again, reset. I think they were really trying to get everyone to remember how this used to be. I've been telling everybody that this was the Please Buy Us Disney show. I think I honestly, even with the press conference at the end, I think pretty much they were just like, hey,
no one can put on a spectacle like us.
Like, please buy us, Disney. Like, put us at Epcot, please. Like
Triple H said that like 3 times in that press conference. No
did.
One can put a spectacle on like WWE.
Spectacle and entertainment and da-da-da-da. It was very much like someone needs to buy us that's not Saudi Arabia, for the love of God.
Very true.
So that's what it seemed like they were doing that with the show. Like, everybody's ring gear, everybody's like the concept, what they were doing. I want to say, like, that's why they have Otis run down to the ring. They were trying to hope to make some memes out of this, because both Nikki Cross and Otis is coming down to the ring was probably some of the funniest things that happened the entire night. Nikki Cross booking it, her face
I think it was also Nikki who as soon as she got to like the ring area mats, made sure she kind of jumped over it because no one wants a Titus episode, if you will.
Oh,
like
yeah,
no one wants to trip that last step.
Ain't none
Like-
better than Titus's world slide.
And then Otis just
Otis.
Yeah. Just,
I love it.
No neck, man. It's hard to run when you have no neck.
If I was Otis, I'd just lay down in the ring the whole time. Go ahead.
Who's gonna stop?
Eliminate me.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I mean, honestly, that would be a pretty cool spot if someone lifted Otis up off like a deadlift and threw him out of the ring. No one's ever done that. No big guy's ever just laid down.
Cesaro would probably be the guy that could pull that off, and he's not there anymore. So, next match, you mentioned her name earlier, Bianca Belair taking on Miss Bliss. Belair retains. The match was good. I like both competitors. Still wondering where we're going. We all know
this weakest. It was the weakest match of the night.
It was the weakest match of the night. Still a great match, but this is where we're on the road to Mania. So I want to see these things finally start coming together and taking shape. So whatever is going to happen with her, Bray, and Uncle Howdy, I kind of want it to start really happening now.
I mean, I think it has.
It has, but it's been really slow to me.
Because we now have Bray's new form, like fucking Frieza or whatever. It's like he got his new form, and so that's the first step. And then I think in Elimination Chamber, we're going to see whatever Alexa's new form is.
Good.
And that's going to be that stuff. And then maybe you actually have another family who could take on the bloodline if the bloodline should continue. You know what I mean? That's a legit contender, I guess. So yeah, but yeah, Alexa, I feel like we needed, because they even played the same clip. Mm-hmm. That was the other thing that threw me, was we didn't get anything new. He did the "Do you feel in charge" clip that he already played.
Especially when right before that match, we just saw Uncle Howdy go through dude with an elbow drop. You couldn't have him come back out real quick,
do something, anything to, you know what I mean? Because the match just kind of ended.
Yeah, you could have had Howdy go back up to that perch that he was on. I mean, move all those Muppets and stuff out of the way, and then just have Howdy be up there or something like that. But
Muppets,
dude, I don't know what they are, because they're not. I mean, they are just puppets and stuff like that. I get it, but
sometimes
those were people in costumes. Though.
Sometimes they're puppets, and sometimes they're people in costume, or sometimes they're humanoid puppets, and I'm fine with it.
I didn't even realize they were behind him on the entryway till I rewatched it on Sunday.
Yeah, same. I didn't notice that the first time. Because we were still looking around talking about it.
Yeah.
They didn't even talk during his entrance. I know we're talking about Alexa Bliss, but they didn't talk during his entrance. They gave him the full Taker entrance. Mm-hmm. I was like, good. It's official, people. If you didn't think he was the guy, he's the guy. All right. He's the creepy guy now. It's time to put away whatever you want to do. But Alexa, we've never really had a creepy girl.
True.
In fairness, to the same level that Undertaker has that sort of reverence. We really haven't had that. You should make it Asuka. You should just make it Asuka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna give it to Alexa Bliss, which you shouldn't do, but if you are, then it's time to do that. It's time to give her the creepy entrance, a longer entrance, some fricassee, and then let her be creepy all the time. Not just a little bit of the time, all of the time. And we're not there yet.
Yeah, because the thing is, she'll pull off whatever they give her. She's that good. So just do it. Just do it. All right, guys, the Women's Rumble. So I'll just go through the entrance order, and then we'll come back and talk about high points in this match, just so I can get the entrance out of the way here. So here's the order of our women's participants. Number 1, Rhea Ripley. 2 is Morgan, Dana Brooke. Then we had Emma, Shayna Baszler, Bailey, B-Fab, Roxanne Perez making her main roster debut. She is the NXT champ, so she'll be going back there. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Natalya, Candice LeRae, Zoe Stark, Xia Li, Becky Lynch, Tegan Knox making her return, Asuka, Piper Niven making a return with her better name.
Yay. Shout out Piper.
Yeah, Tamina, Chelsea Green making her return to WWE. Zelina Vega, Raquel Rodriguez, Michin, Lacey Evans, Michelle McCool, who enters from the crowd, sitting with her daughters, Indy Hartwell, Sonia Deville, Shotzi, Nikki Cross, and number 30, everyone's favorite, Nia Jax came back.
Yeah.
She's not like most girls. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah. She's not like most girls. I'm going to start with 30 on this one. I honestly, I never really liked Nia Jax. I'll state that from the start. And not to body shame anybody because I'm over here being 300 fucking odd pounds and shit like that. But you could tell that she came in heavier than she was when she left WWE the last time. Still just as intimidating. And I do like how they actually decided swarm her first instead of like trying to pull her to the ring where she might get some odd eliminations and stuff like that. Like they've done that kind of stuff with like Big John Studd in the past, and Andre used to do that kind of stuff too, where like, oh, if they're teaming up to throw me out, I'll still be able to throw guys out or whatever. But I did like it was a swarm, push her to the ring, all of us work together, stand back relieved, and then she's just swarming the ring, which is the only real way to handle a Nia Jax, in my opinion, because she is bigger than everybody else physically. She can clearly bust nose, which she didn't break real Ripley's. She just had nosebleeds, so that was good. So we didn't get a second the man like we did Becky and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's I guess the only real way to handle her at this point is because if you're going to bring her back, you need to make her seem like a real threat, and that's the only real way to do it without her winning.
I think that Nia Jax is the only legitimate person left that Bianca should fight, because I don't want her to beat Asuka now that she's changed her stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, who can lose to Bianca at Mania that it makes sense to put, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
now,
I would say like
former champion. Nobody likes her, but she's physically larger than anyone that Bianca's fought before. And Bianca's whole thing is that she's really strong. Could you imagine if Bianca Belair gave the KOD to Nia Jax? It'd be like Hogan and Andre. It would be the coolest thing.
It'd be bigger because Hogan just barely picked up Andre. Like, if she hit KOD, that's huge.
Now, have we heard, though? I've read two different things. One that she's back and one that it was a one-off.
I've heard it was a one-off as well.
Okay.
Because they don't even have like new merch for her. Usually you can tell by the merch
whether
someone's going to be around.
I saw a shirt for her though.
It was her old shirt. They just like revamped the color. So I think it might have been testing the waters to see if people were like, "Ooh, let's go grab Nia Jax stuff."
You think anyone who wants to buy that shirt? She got booed when she came out instantly by that arena. I like that she played with it. I mean, she knows. She's the one that she's been talking all that shit. She knows what the stuff she said about WWE. So, A, payday for her, and B, yeah, it's great.
Who else was coming out at 30 that you would like be like, oh my god, you know what I mean? They botched the entrance.
Again, 8 seconds early or whatever.
8 seconds early, which is such a huge bummer.
That, and also she botched 2 different things with Rhea.
Oh yeah.
But whatever.
Again, whatever. Like I said, 30 was that. I will say Michelle McCool still looks like she can go, which is really interesting.
Right?
That was pretty cool. Well, you know what I mean? Like, that was pretty cool.
She almost ruined it when she hopped up on the guardrail to get in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Could you imagine if she would have wiped out doing that? And it's just like, never mind, guys. I can't do it. Just ankles out now. Yeah, no.
Crazy.
That was a good one too.
Asuka looking great, coming back with the new thing.
That's my favorite. Of course, I'm a huge Asuka mark.
Mm-hmm. I am too. Like I said, I don't want Asuka to lose, but I kind of do want Bianca to go bell to bell. I want her to go WrestleMania to WrestleMania with a belt because I don't think a woman's done that.
No.
I don't think a single woman in WWE has ever done that. So I kind of want her to win at Mania so she can say she's gone. She went belt, she's went belt to belt. She can lose it on the Raw after Mania. Like, that's fine. I'm just like, who else would you put her against? Asuka is a contender, and with her new look, she's certainly someone who could beat her. But unless you're gonna have her beat Bianca Belair, I'd rather you stay her away, because give her time to develop this creepy kind thing. So it won't work.
No, I agree. Also, it was cool to see Tegan Knox make her return. I want to make sure I say that, as well as
Chelsea Green got the Santana.
She got the Santana
or Santino Marella treatment, where she comes in and is quickly eliminated within 2 seconds. She sold it perfectly.
I thought it was 5.
It was a record either way.
She's the new record for the Women's Royal Rumble.
She was hilarious on Raw last night too. Like, I guess they're going with this whole she's a Karen angle. Like, it's gonna be good.
I will say this: I'm glad to see that she didn't break her wrist. That's the first for her taking a shot to the outside where she didn't break her wrist. So in WWE, anyways, I mean, I'm really glad to see that she didn't get hurt. That's literally. I'm not trying to be sarcastic or joking. I'm glad to see that she didn't get hurt upon her WWE return.
Yeah, she actually probably was poised for a decent run before that injury, actually.
Yep.
She had a really solid, I think, SmackDown match right before that injury.
I think that second wrist injury really set her back, and I think that's the reason she got cut. I think we would have still seen her possibly even move up the card to be a real challenger if she would have not broken that wrist that second time.
100%, but now she has a chance. Look at Tegan Knox. Tegan Knox had a nice comeback after immediately ripping her knee up at the Mae Young Classic. The big thing we got to talk about with this women match, though, is obviously our winner, and that is Rhea Ripley coming in at number 1, going the distance and looking all kinds of badass doing it.
I want to talk about Rhea Ripley, but real quick before we talk about Rhea Ripley, there was another person, because we do a poll, and I got a different number, and my number was BFAB, and I just got to say that, like, either Hit Row's got to be good or you got to stop doing it. Because if they're not good, like, BFAB didn't even do it. Her hair was all in her. She couldn't wrestle. And I'm just like, okay, all right, guys. Hip hop culture is particularly interesting to me as someone who does this for a living. And Top Dollar looked like a freaking jabroni jerk. I don't even know who the other guy is. And now you have BFAB coming in there and being embarrassed. Either have them be good or stop doing it. Because none of them can win. And so why are they hanging out with each other? That's all I have to say.
Let me ask you real quick then too. I don't know if you been watching any of the AEW stuff with Swerve, as far as him building that brand or label or whatever they're trying to create there?
False accusations.
You big motherfucker.
The mogul affiliates are fantastic. We'll talk about them another day. But again, Hit Row has been rudderless since Swerve has gone. Like, they've been rudderless. They are rudderless. They are without a leader, because Top Dollar is not him. So, like, they're kind of rudderless, which is, again, why I say either just stop doing it or, make them good. Like, make them have a reason for all the confidence they're walking around with. That's fine. Put Dominic in there. Who cares what he does? But, like,
Prison Dom, baby.
I want Dom Corleone to do whatever he needs to do.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I love it when Dom gets on the mic now and he's like, "Man, you would never make it in prison." Like, it is the funniest, most entertaining thing to me.
He's getting it. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's laying it. But so all that to say, BFAB, you were my pick. I got you in the draft, and I immediately knew I was losing. So just know that we know that Hit Row is not working, and we're gonna need something else. But you know what is working, and that's my transition. Rhea Ripley, number 1.
Yeah, like Dan said, she put a picture out without makeup on, like yesterday or today. Yeah, her face is all chewed up.
Well, so not only just Rhea, by the way, for going the distance, but her and Liv both were, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then Liv was the last one eliminated as well. So they stayed in the Rumble
cool
1 hour, 1 minute, and some odd seconds. So quite literally, they had an extra 30 minutes for the guys. Gunter was in there the whole damn time, which 90 minutes in one single Rumble is unheard of. And shout out to the women for doing really exactly the same thing as Gunter did, going coast to coast with that thing. That's amazing.
It was
for both of those women. And I think Liv got played a little dirty because of that could have been a better finish. I don't think she needed to get the mist in the eyes. I think they could have done a different finish for both of the women, but
I thought the mist in the eyes protected her.
I think so too. I'm just saying, as far as I think it could have been done I think they could have been in the ring and then she actually maybe takes a different move instead of losing with a little bit of cloud around it and stuff like that. I think it just could have been a different way because Liv's been doing this whole kind of crazy manic thing. And we even saw her do that at her first elimination chamber where she came out and she was kind of taking it from Ronda or Shayna, excuse me, where she was kind of enjoying some of the pain. So we've seen this develop in different ways. So I think she's one that if she took a finisher from Ripley and then got thrown over the top rope, it doesn't hurt her in any way. I think this kind of almost plays it back where she's not smart enough to get out of the way. She could have just easily been back in the ring and then eliminated them. She didn't need to be out there on the apron with both Asuka and Rhea, but
that's fair
again,
enough.
Yeah,
I like it. In a lot of ways.
Yeah, I like it. I think it made her look. It makes it so they can insert her into another big storyline eventually, where she'll be taken serious. And let's be honest, that's been Liv's mission for the last couple of years, is basically to be taken
to take me seriously. Yeah, no, and to go as far and have Ripley put her over in the press conference.
Yeah.
Would just be Liv was doing it. You know, I thought 100%. That was really powerful for her to do.
Let me ask you guys this then, or at least you, Matt. What'd you think of this press conference? Because the WWE's been off and on. They've done a couple gimmicky ones. They've done, and now we have this. Obviously, this is a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, AEW does it now; they're doing it." But it was interesting to watch because you don't see WWE put their talent out and basically be like, "Go shoot." It felt like that.
Let me say this. Again, I'm not being hyperbolic, and this is going to be something the viewers can tell me if they don't believe me. I think we have entered into the golden age of professional wrestling. You heard what I said. The golden age of professional wrestling. And I think what that press conference did in a really weird way was reestablish kayfabe. Because now that they said that this is fake and this is real, they can now say when someone does something in these press conferences, it's not storyline, it is real. And so later on down the line, like I said, 12-year-olds, later on down the line, when Logan Paul is having one of these press conferences and he calls Cody Rhodes a piece of shit, we all go whoa, that was a lot. And then we're going to be that's real heat. And they have remade kayfabe. Because before it was impossible. Before it was all just da-da-da-da. The only way they could remake kayfabe is by breaking it completely and telling everybody that this is just a show and then this is real. I think it was one of the most brilliant things they could have done. Because I was telling someone else, WWE has been dragging their feet with wrestling trends for about 20 years-ish. They've been falling behind. And AEW, like you said, they do this in AEW. Yeah, because it works. Because it works. They do it in New Japan. Because it works. And WWE was refusing to do this thing that works. And it's just no. They've created kayfabe. Every time MJF, we didn't know if CM Punk was really being a dick or not. We were just we had to find out like everybody else did. And it created drama. And so while this particular press conference wasn't anything too crazy, and they shouldn't have a crazy one for at least another 5 of these, Like, it is reestablished that there is a line in which people can't cross, and this is where we put our toys away. And then when someone steps over that line, it'll make everything all that much more emotional. And I think that's really, really smart of them. So I loved the press conference.
That's a very interesting take.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed watching Triple H talk. And like you said, it did feel, looking back at it, like he was doing kind of a sales pitchy type deal, but it was also cool just to hear him talk. Even him doing the extra question because he doesn't want to get upstaged by Cody Rhodes. Stuff like that. It was a cool touch. We kind of touched on it, but yeah, the main event. Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and they're working together is going to be a good match no matter what. The storyline surrounding this thing is perfect, and it all played out perfect. So perfect that, again, I am like, I have to watch SmackDown. I haven't watched SmackDown in a year.
The best story in wrestling right now. And so when you were saying that Sammy has to fight Roman, it's like, it's the best story in wrestling right now. I can't name a better story.
No, it is.
Well, literally, it's the best story that they've had in how many years? Period. And I'm including AEW. AEW hasn't had real story. The best story they had, in my opinion, was Hangman.
Yep, Hangman.
And that was, it was, compared to this, it was good, but it's not nearly as three-dimensional as this story is.
Well, and one thing to talk about with even that is because Hangman's payoff is only going to be the championship. The payoff for the bloodline is multifaceted because now you have championships. You have technically 4 championships that group can lose, and that even or even more depending on what Solo does. So it's championships, it's family, it's all this other stuff. It's the animosity between what Sammy has done, what Sammy could do with what KO is. It's literally right now, it is the perfect story that WWE could place at the top of their list of things to cheer for. And then seeing where we came out of Rumble with Cody as a story, Rhea as a story. This is the best build they've had towards WrestleMania, and we haven't really even started that actual official road until really last night.
Well, something else too, just in a difference of how you could tell a story around your championship, is obviously WWE is running with that long-term story with an 800-day champion. We've yet to see AEW run with their top champion being a long reign.
Because they can't yet. They still have to establish people as being championship material.
So it's going to be hard for them to tell as compelling right now because this is better than just some regular TV show.
It's drama on the highest level.
Yeah,
I'm going to pop Mike's comment up here quick. While I agree that was probably better than Hangman's story, it only included those 2 guys. And
it doesn't make stars out of everybody involved.
Right.
Anybody who touches it becomes better for it. Like, everybody who touches it gets more interesting.
Well, yeah. And Goro even said this is not a story about Sammy at all. This is all about Jay. It very well could be because of how it all played out. So we'll get to that obviously at the end.
That's how it all started.
But that's just it. Exactly. That is just it. All of this shit started with Jay against Roman.
Yeah, main event Jay.
And I said it. I told JR before you 2 came on. The one thing you notice when Sammy swings that chair and hits Reigns, the very first thing he did after that was immediately lock on Jay, and you could see him saying, "I'm sorry." So now they're really playing into the whole, he went from it's him against Reigns to now he's on Reigns' side, brings his brother back in to I don't trust the outsider to now I love the outsider. He's my brother. And now everything.
It's something that Jimmy took offense to.
Exactly.
Which I think was great.
That super kick out of nowhere when Jay's just, the whole thing was just, And like I think Dan said it, the crowd was eating it up. I mean, the bloodline was getting booed out of that place after that.
They were chanting "F you Roman."
Yeah.
They couldn't even censor it. It was just too many people. Like it was probably, like I said, again, if you're 12, if you're watching professional wrestling for the first time, you know who the biggest bad guys are. Like you don't have to ask yourself. You know who the biggest good guy was because at the beginning of the Royal Rumble, everyone was going freaking nuts. You know who Sammy is good, and you know Kevin Owens is good, and you know that Roman and all of these people are bad, and you're not sure whether Jay is good or bad. And that's what you need. That's what you need. Like you need for this kind of medium. The lines cannot be as gray as they've been. Like, and that's why it's so good. Because before, and what I loved about this pay-per-view is because people were cheering the bloodline because Sammy was in it.
Yeah.
And even if they weren't, it was just like, oh yeah, the bloodline, they're kind of harmless. Like they're kind of running roughshod everybody, but that kind of happens, but now people are gonna be like, oh no, they're heels. And I say that as someone who loves heels and loves bad guy wrestlers. AEW and WWE before had a really tough time with making people not like their bad guys because bad guys are cool. Bad guys are sexy. No, the bloodline are bad guys. They are not people you should cheer. Like, they are bad. Look at what they did to Sammy, and Sammy, all he wanted to do was help them. And so now we can establish that and get some real, heat. Like, people don't like them. They want to see Roman lose it. They want to see Sammy come back and haluva kick him and freak out. And then he wins both belts. And then Kevin Owens power bombs him into the hardest point of the ring. Could you imagine if it was just like NXT? Could you imagine?
What's that meme of South Park when Randy breaks into the American Red Cross internet?
Yeah.
It's plasma. There was a ghost in here.
I just love the idea of Sammy. He's held up. Everyone, he's got both the belts. Everyone's cheering. They got him on his shoulders, and he goes to embrace Kevin. They leave the ring, and Kevin just.
Dude, but that would be so good.
Could you imagine?
God, that would be
package,
so good.
That package would just show it, and then everyone's just like, Kevin Owens, never trust Kevin Owens, no matter how good he is to you, no matter how kind he is to you, especially if Kevin Owens wins the Money in the Bank.
Oh,
well, and you're right, because
dude.
Watching some other clips this week from other programming and stuff from years past, I watched the Jay Briscoe having to give up his belt in ROH, and Kevin Steen having to, literally basically, hey, I know you won that. I know you've earned that belt, but you can't defend it, so you have to be a man. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, he fucking betrays him, though, doesn't he? Like, he ends up kicking him in the head or something. Like, I'm like, that's how this all works and stuff like that. I mean, Adam Cole did after that, but like literally, I always think to myself, you can't trust Kevin Steen, you can't trust Kevin Owens. It doesn't matter which character it is or what iteration, you cannot trust him. And I think how we're going to come out of this is probably a loose alliance between KO and Sammy, just to bring the friendship back together. You probably have Jay part of that or whatever, but again, the payoff will be Sammy is betrayed by Kevin because you can't trust Kevin Owens, because kill Owens kill, right?
I think
kill Steen kill. It's always been the same thing.
I think you make Kevin. I think that again, another reason why this storyline is better than anything that's going on right now. All you have to do, you can make 1 million megastars out of this. All you have to do is let it happen. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm. If Sammy beats Roman, he is the biggest babyface that has ever existed since Bryan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he does it. And even if it's not Cody Rhodes, which it could be, but if it's not Cody Rhodes and Sammy does it, you create the biggest heel in the company when Kevin Owens, after all of that, does exactly what everyone thought he would do. And which he's done before, which is betray Sami Zayn. Because then that feud is nuclear level.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
from the jump. You don't have to spend 6 years building it up. It's already there. And then you're off to the races. Roman Reigns can fight Jay without us having to worry about him getting his title back, because that would be his number one focus. He can fight Jay for control of the head of the family, which is at this point a moniker that is worth as much as the title, in my opinion. Like, who's in charge is enough.
Well, and the way to even sell like a Kevin Owens portrayal is, if he does it, is the first line on the first thing he says the next night or whatever after betrayal is, "What, you thought I didn't think you were the easier way to get those titles?" Oh, shit, dude. Because again, you lower Sammy, and this is where you start building the psychology. And Mike Friesen on the YouTube side right now has been, him and I have talked a lot about this stuff as far as the psychology of wrestling. You now, again, you pit Sami Zayn as you are less than you have ever been, because you know you can't raise to my level every time. You got lucky, and that's exactly how I see this, is you will literally lose to me every single time. And KO can just deliver that because it's Kevin Owens. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. You need a Kevin Owens to sell this even more.
And if Triple H was going to hand somebody the titles after being on a Vince creation, it's going to be to Kevin Owens. He's done it already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it tells itself that Triple H always thought that Kevin Owens was that guy.
Yep.
Like, he always thought he was that guy. And I think he's that guy.
Hell yeah.
And so he's a mega heel. Boom. Done. He rocks it out. Him and Sammy can run off and fight. Roman can fight Jay and figure that stuff out. And then it does kind of leave Cody Rhodes in the lurch, but that's okay. Like, Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes. He can figure something else.
But
maybe he
but we also never. Yeah, no, we never really see a finish though to the Rollins Rhodes thing, because they only had the two, right? Because we were basically destined to have three. You had to have Cody win at Hell in a Cell because of the injury. It only builds him. So reality is you have probably a different set, but you have Rollins Rhodes come back, and then both of those two can elevate each other to where you're not missing out on a main event, because Rollins going for the U.S. title off and on makes zero sense because he's Seth freaking Rollins. Like, he's a top guy.
He should be up. Unless they're going to take the United States Championship and say it's as good as any other champion, like any of the world championships. He really shouldn't be over there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am extremely happy that we are on the road to WrestleMania, because there are so many damn possibilities of what could happen by the time we get to SoFi Stadium in California. Man, I'm excited. Nur-d, as always, I mean, you are a part of this show. We love you. We thank you every time you come on. You are our favorite rapper. All of that stuff. Real quick, though. You just announced it. Was it today? Yesterday? That there's a new project dropping soon.
I had to drop it on the day I was coming on the pod on the show.
Oh man, you do us so good, man.
No, you guys are amazing. It's my I love talking wrestling with y'all. But I do have a brand new project. It's coming out. It's called Crush. I'm really excited. I've been working really hard on this. It's a full-length project, so it's not like a single or an EP. You're gonna have quite a few songs on it. And we're dropping the title track, Crush, the single. It drops on Valentine's Day. So if you got a special somebody you want to send some booty shaking music to, feel free to do so. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so look for that Valentine's Day. I got to give my man some credit right here, guys. If you haven't seen it on his Instagram, he posted you making Counting Crows Mr. Jones into a slow jam. And it is the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Well, thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoyed so every now and then when I do a project, when I'm working really hard on a particular project, I like to do something fun, like musically, so I don't don't take yourself too seriously. That's always kind of been my moniker. Like, don't take yourself too seriously. You'll end up having less fun. And so I did a whole thing of covers of like old 90s songs that I very much enjoyed. And Mr. Jones from Cotton Crows is one of my favorites from that era. But I made it into an R&B jam because it works. I don't know what else to tell you other than it works.
It is fucking smooth, yo. You gotta check it out, everybody. Check it out. What member of your Patreon to get that download, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so you're on my Patreon, you'll be able to get that download and rock it out. And honestly, please take it, enjoy it, share it with your friends. We love it. And like I said before, and I know we're done talking about wrestling, but I wanted to say one thing. When I said we were in the golden age of wrestling, I really did mean it. Like, everyone is able to wrestle. Women are main eventing. People of color are being represented all over the industry. And our local wrestling is as good as it's ever been. Like, if you're a fan, if you just happen to tune in on this random day, now's the time to get into the thing. You'll find your person, you'll find your people, you'll find your storylines you like. So please enjoy this stuff with us. Let's build this fandom into something cool.
Before we leave real quick, sorry. Tommy has a bone to pick with you.
Oh.
I do, because you obviously gave me the top shelf shout out at WrestlePalooza.
I did.
And you were gone so quickly, I generally thought I lost my mind. I'm like, I swear I saw Nur-d over there. I'm not acting like a fool. And then I was going to bring my friend Sally over to meet you. And then I'm looking over. I'm like, I swear he was just there. I know the next day I saw DJ Hayes' story. So you guys are obviously royalty down there at First Avenue now. I understand that. I respect that immensely. But literally, when I just see you just like glaring over me and I make contact and all of a sudden just like this, that's why I had to send you that message today. The next day I was like, dude, for real, am I losing my mind or were you actually there? You're like, I was there. But even more props to how you handled that situation that next night there in Madison, dude.
Appreciate that.
Huge props. If people need to go and watch the reel or however you had it, this man holds up to his values. He respects everybody who comes to the show. And if there's ever an issue, this man handles it. So huge props to you, Nur-d. Always a fan, will be a fan, always a friend, forever, dude. For real.
Thank you. We got out of that WrestlePalooza so quick. We were like in and out. So I was there for the whole show, obviously. Yeah. I saw you and I was like, oh yeah, we out here. So I apologize for disappearing into the night. Yes. But honestly, guys, that really means a lot. And yeah, we all love we work together. We treat each other with respect, both on the music shows, wrestling shows. Where we are going to be moving into this new era of time where we treat everybody with the respect that they deserve. And that's the move. That is the move.
That's right.
That is the move. I love it, dude. Positivity and love. That's what we're all about here. Nur-d, thank you again. We'll be back next week with another edition of the 2 Count. I don't even know. I'm not even going to look. You'll just have to hear next week who our upcoming guests are.
You'll find out. Have a good night. Thanks for all your support, and thanks for getting Tom chopped, you guys. We appreciate
it. Chopped.
Thanks for getting me chopped this last weekend, too.
That awesome. That too. I'll never be chopped because I'm not going to allow it. Plus, I'll probably die. Have a good one, everybody. And thank you again so much. We always appreciate your support, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Dan, enjoy the trip.